Am I the asshole for forcing my nephew to eat something he doesn't like and traumatizing him? Okay, so he's 26M. Nephew, 9, is a extremely picky eater. He only eats nuggets and rice for lunch and dinner. My sister's trying to change that, but it's really hard. No, he doesn't have any autism or anything. He had cancer at age 3, and that was the only food he wanted. My sister always gave in, and it became a path of no return. He's fully healed and turned into a little brat monster. Oh my goodness. Well, there's a value judgment. Again, right, anytime people put value judgments in, you gotta start being like, what? Am I the asshole for being an asshole to my asshole nephew? I don't think so, but what do you think? On Friday, my sister called saying that she needs me to take care of my nephew for about 5 hours because there was no class and the babysitter could only be in the afternoon. She and my brother-in-law wouldn't be able to take the morning off. I accepted. After all, she needs help, and she said she would pay the hours that took care of him. Eminently reasonable. Yeah, so the sister so far, I think, was asking this dude to babysit and paid a lot of, or not a lot of money, but she paid the money as well to this guy, which again is not something she had to do, I think. Good evening, Sir Critic. My nephew arrived home at 8 a.m. and would leave at 1 p.m. At lunchtime, I made rice, chicken, and vegetables. When he saw what it was, he asked if he had his nuggies, and when he found out he didn't, said he didn't eat what I made. I just replied, that's what you have. If you don't like it, wait until your mother arrives and she does it at your house. It was 11 a.m. and he had breakfast at home. How hard would it be to just feed the fucking child? What's this need to be like, that's all we have. If you don't like it, go hungry until your mother comes. Like, what is that all about? He said that I wouldn't make nuggets and ate with a disgusted face. He even made some vomiting sounds. To be clear, I didn't force him to eat, and my house doesn't have junky food for kids. Market is 20 minutes walk away. My car is in the shop, and I was not in the mood to go to the market with him, as I can tell you that is a stressful experience to say the least. My sister arrived, and I went to work right away. That night, she called me screaming and cursing because he told her that I forced him to eat something so he wouldn't starve when he doesn't like the food I made, and that now he was traumatized by being forced to. I argue that if she knows her son is an extremely picky eater, why didn't she bring the nuggets? Now everyone has nuggets in the fridge, and it wasn't my fault her son didn't eat anything else and was traumatized by eating the normal food that people eat. She even said that I should have been kinder because he was forced to eat that because otherwise he would have to be hungry until she picks him up, and then I could have asked the market to deliver and she would pay later. It would be very expensive, bracket, what if she's paying? In the end, she didn't pay me for the time I stayed with him because the traumatic experience he had with me is enough, and my family's on her side. Am I the asshole? To be clear, I am not child-free. I get along with children. I love them. But my nephew is a piece of work. I mean, we got the sense that you felt that from the start. In case you're in doubt, my sister's pretty straightforward about paying for things she thinks she should pay for, so it wasn't an excuse not to pay. Sorry for the wording. Guys, to make it clear, if you waited 2 hours since you didn't want to eat the adult junky foods, I hate the edits because they're always like, guys, I know you're calling me an asshole, but let me tell you I'm not. So here's the thing. I hear you guys saying, oh, well, they should make him eat the food, but that's actually none of his business. Like, he's not the child's parent, so it is not on him to be like, I will demand that the child eats healthy food, especially because he's not babysitting the child for a long period of time. It's literally 5 hours one day. So if he was frequently looking after the child, and if he had like some sort of say in the child's upbringing in that sense, then I can understand him saying, hey, look, I'm going to be, sort of helping raise this kid, and being direct with the mother, like, hey, I'm going to try and help him eat better because I think what he's eating is not good. But when you're babysitting someone for a few hours, you absolutely don't have the right to be like, I will now put my definition of what good parenting is, what good eating is on the kid, and demand that he eats what I tell him to. Now, of course, he didn't actually force him, but starving a kid ain't the play, in my opinion. Saying like, well, you eat what I tell you, or wait till your mother arrives, is not really, in my opinion, the way to treat a child. It depends if he actually cares about the child's health. It doesn't matter if he cares about the child's health because he's not consulting his parent. He's just taking a decision on his own. That's not how if you care about a child's health, you don't, when you're left alone with them, suddenly decide you're going to flip the switch. If he's going to do that, he needs to consult the mother and be like, hey, I'm going to do this. Are you okay with it? And if she says no, then you don't do it because it's not your kid. So I don't think it's cool what he did, to be honest. Teach your kids how to eat different types of food. It used to be normal to be like this towards kids back in the day. You eat what you have, and once they're hungry, they will eat it. That's all fine, but it's not his kid. Like, it's not on him to make this decision. There is no his, her kid. Kids are not property. Bro, you don't... It isn't his kid. What do you mean it's not about property? It's just like, it's not his decision. It's not about like the property. It's like as a parent, your baseline thing is that you get to decide how your child is raised. You might be doing a bad job, but nobody else, unless you're really putting the child in harm's way, nobody else can come in and say, well, you're feeding your child wrong. I'm going to feed them what I think is right. It's okay, guys. I'm going to pick a random child and force feed him chicken breast. Yeah. Oh, it's not your kid. There's no property on the kids. They're an asshole for not liking nuggets. Is the kid under his care, under his roof during that time period? So, but that logic though, he could literally murder the baby. Well, it was in my care at the time. I decided I'd do what I do. You know, he could do anything to the baby under that justification, right? It's like if you gave the kid to a babysitter and you were like, hey, this is what the kid eats. This is what I want you to do. Obviously, the mother is at fault for not clarifying in advance and providing the nuggets in advance. But if you left the kid with a babysitter and they were like, you left me in charge for a while, so I decided to do whatever the fuck I felt like. He doesn't have the food the kid wants. What should he do? Take him to the supermarket. He says the supermarket is 20 minutes away, and he basically didn't feel like taking the kid to the supermarket because he thought it would be a painful experience. Which again tells me that and from the start, he seems to think that the kid is a little monster. And if he feels that way about the kid, maybe he shouldn't have agreed to babysit him in the first place. Should have just been like, I don't like your kid. What you're saying is right, but that's on the mom. If you want someone else to take care of your child, yeah, I definitely think the mom is at fault for not providing the necessary material. But if you're in charge, again, if you had a kid and that kid was hungry and they were like, I will only eat this. Yes, you might be able to say, I'm demanding you eat this, my child. But let's say in this case, I don't think he has the luxury to be like, I'm going to feed you what I demand. So he's got two options. Feed the kid, like take the kid to the supermarket and be like, okay, I got to get the kid what he needs because I have agreed to take responsibility for this child for these several hours, which means that I have to do what it takes to make sure the child is happy and healthy. So that means you got to go to the market, or you just starve the kid and be like, well, you're going to eat what I eat, which I think is an asshole move, to be honest. He's looking out for the kid's health, but that's a value judgment. That's his subjective judgment. He doesn't get to decide what is healthy for the kid when he's not the parent. He's only taking care of them temporarily. Yeah, just take the kid to the food. They said the grocery store delivers, and she would have said she would have paid for it, and he says that he knows his sister is happy to pay for things. So he probably and she's paying him for this time as well. It's not even like he's doing her a favor. It's again like that renting situation. He's literally the babysitter at this point in time. She's paying him for his time. And for him to be like, you'll eat what I tell you, is like a fucking dick move. It's a value judgment for him to be like, I think this is healthy for your kids, I'm gonna do it. Like, he didn't consult that with the parent, so he doesn't get to decide. Because if another person was like, I think it's valuable for this kid to take a few punches because he needs to learn how to fight, right? If that was what this guy's attitude was, if he was like, I'm gonna teach this kid martial arts because I think he needs to learn how to fight, I'm gonna give him a few punches in the stomach, like, you'd be like, what the fuck, you're insane, dude, that's not healthy for the kid. But he's like, I think it's healthy for the kid. Just because in this case you might happen to agree with what he was feeding the kid doesn't mean that it was his judgment to make. Can a parent abuse their child because their kid didn't have a say? That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that he can't just like do whatever he wants and say, oh, well, I'm in charge right now. I think it's healthy to give my child a copy or watch. True. All in all, it's the mother's fault, and family's wrong for being mad at the person taking care of the kid. It's definitely mom's fault for not providing food for the child, especially when he's so picky, and not getting paid sucks too. Mom sounds like a complete asshole. Nah, dude. Nah, I disagree with you guys on this. I think he should have taken the kid to the market. He clearly has problems with the kid. Like, quite clearly, he just doesn't like the kid, and I think that's the real reason why he decided to do what he did, because he was like, I'm not, you know, fussed about this kid's tantrums. He's gonna eat what I tell him to eat. I really don't think it's okay to be like, starve or eat what I tell you to when you're only taking care of the kid for like a handful of hours anyways. Obviously, I don't think this is a black and white situation, but I think he's mostly the asshole. I think the mother is at fault for not providing the thing. But he could, it was very, what, like, again, it's like, to feed him what he needed, you gotta ask, like, was it a reasonable ask for him to go and get nuggets? A 20-minute walk to the supermarket, or having them deliver, is not an unreasonable demand. Dude, it is, bro, the kid is under his house. If he doesn't want to eat his food, this is the kid's fault. Again, you gotta extrapolate that line of thinking. If he's like, I will feed you garbage, and that's all I have, so you will eat it or suffer, would you be okay with it? Just because you happen to agree with what he fed him, doesn't mean that he gets to be like, oh, I'm telling you to eat this, so you better eat this. I don't think it was an unreasonable demand for him to like order the fucking vegetables to be, order the nuggies to be delivered, or for him to walk 20 minutes. He just didn't want to do it because he thought it would be a chore with this kid. If I give my kid to Liver King and he feels my child raw organs, it's his diet, God bless. Again, and it's not like she was asking for some real specialty meal. It's just chicken nuggets. It could be gotten anywhere, right? It's not like she was like, he only eats gourmet food. Nah, man, it's just chicken nuggets you can get from the store 10 minutes away. I think he was a dick, to be honest. I don't think it's his place to say this is what the kid should eat. He's been left in charge. The kid is particular, and it's something to do, you know, it all originates as well from him having cancer and being dependent on this food, and it might not be great, but I also understand that kids can be like develop these habits. Like if you're a kid and you like learn to do things a certain way, it can be difficult to break them out the habit. So he's not going to do it in an afternoon, and it's not his place to decide I'm going to do it. Fuck the kid, it's only his fault. Bro, he's 9. He's fucking 9, and you're going to be like, it's the kid's fault. He's 9. Bro, he's fucking 9, dude. If he has a problem with it, he should take it up with his mother. Yeah, and like, also, a lot of you guys are being very unsympathetic to the fact that he's like, clearly, it's not even just about being a fussy eater. It's about like, it physically doesn't go well with him. And I know this as someone who grew up as a fussy eater, is like, it's not just about, because people call it fussy eating, as if like you have a blanket choice and it would be fine if you ate this thing, but you just want to eat this thing. I can't describe to you the number of times I would throw up from being force-fed things I didn't want to eat, or being force-fed too much because I was deemed too skinny. And like most of the time, all that would happen is like, even if I was force-fed the thing, 2 minutes later, I would just go to the bathroom, not tell anyone, and throw it up. So it's like, you'll be like, oh, this is healthy for the kid. You're just forcing him. He wasn't yeah, he didn't shove his face down it, but he was like, you will either starve or eat this. That's not a choice. Being told to starve is not a choice. It is being forced, just coerced, right? You can't be like, well, he had a choice to not eat anything. You want him to fucking starve? That isn't a choice. He's an adult. He can do this. He can go to the fucking supermarket and get him chicken nuggies. Starve for 2 hours? He's 9, dude. He's 9. He doesn't have the conceptualization of like, I can control my hunger for 2 hours. He's 9. He's fucking 9, dude. You're putting like adult considerations of like to a 9-year-old. If this was an adult, like, and they were like, I can't wait 2 hours, that would make sense. But this kid is 9. Also, it's not 2 hours. He arrived at 8 a.m. and didn't leave till 1 p.m. That's like 5 hours. That's not 2. Where did 2 come from? It's 5 hours. In fact, that's 6 hours, right? No, math's bad. 5 hours. He would have not eaten all day because he arrives at 8 p.m. Oh, he was 11 and he had breakfast at home. Okay, so so it was 2 hours. Still, he's a kid. 2 hours is a long time for a kid. I don't think this is justified behavior to a 9-year-old, to be honest. Guys, you guys are so, like, you guys are being so harsh to a fucking kid, dude. He's 9. He's gonna be a little bit fussy, and he's gonna be a little bit of a brat. He said he doesn't have snacks, apparently. He's like, I had no snacks. I don't have any junky food for kids. Kid goes through cancer, is 9, and wants chicken nuggets because that's one comfortable food that he can eat. Fuck you. Fuck you, kid. I'll tell you what to eat. It's every adult's responsibility to nurture the kids. They are left in their environment. Whether your child or not is of no consequence. Dude, again, that's a value judgment you're making. You're deciding that that's healthy for the kid. But you don't know the kid. You're not his parents. And again, just because you're like, you will eat a vegetable because it's healthy for you. What if he just can't stomach it, right? I mean, the mother is perhaps exaggerating when she says the kid is traumatized. Where is it? But does he know? Like, the kid might have, like, again, he might have gone and thrown up in the bathroom. He might have just been like, I literally can't stomach this. He might have felt physically unwell. That's why he's gone to his mother and been like, it really bothered me. Right? So you guys being like, it is healthy, guys. You don't know that. This is like, this kid is a unique person and you have to treat him that way. You can't just be like, well, carrots are healthy, so I demand you eat the carrot. What if he can't stomach it? Then it's not healthy, is it? Then you're like making the kid eat something that is actively disagreeing with him. That kid becomes a victim his whole life? Bro, he's 9. He's 9. Jesus Christ, dude. I cannot believe how unsympathetic you guys are to someone who is 9. Jesus fuck. He has an eternal lifetime of adulthood to figure out, like, how to find, like, again, he can figure out better food habits as he gets older. I figured out. Bro, he did force him by not giving him a choice. He's a 9-year-old kid. You can't let him go hungry. Bro, just because he didn't shove his face in it does not mean he's not an asshole. Just because he didn't literally shove a pipe down the kid's mouth and force feed him does not mean that he didn't coerce the child into eating what he demanded that he deems is right. And I, again, as someone who grew up a fussy eater, I expanded my palate a lot more once I had the ability to control my own diet. Right? Once I was able to cook for myself, cook meals the way I wanted to. And decide exactly what portions I want when, my diet expanded like many-fold. But when someone is like, you will eat this and I will tell you how to eat it and I will make it the way you don't want to, but I will force you to eat this much amount, that is the worst thing you can do for the child's long-term health, because they're not going to eat it the way you demand. They're either going to like find ways around it or they're just going to suffer, right? You guys are like crazy to a 9-year-old, dude. I would not leave you guys in charge of my 9-year-old, is what I'm saying. He's fucking 9, dude. He's fucking 9. Yeah, this is the exact kind of stuff that does traumatize people when you're like, I will make you eat what I tell you. Like, what is this kid gonna think about his uncle? He's gonna be like, my uncle fucking has no sympathy for my situation. And is gonna force me to do whatever I want or whatever I don't want. Yeah, there are many worse things you could eat than chicken nuggets as well. It's not like the kid is being fed like, I don't know, pure sugar through a nostril. It's like, in the UK, a chicken nugget for lunch every day is actually like probably what half the UK population does. Yeah, these are some extreme takes, man. I never thought that so many of you would be so unsympathetic to the food preferences of a 9-year-old. He will literally be fine. You don't, dude, you do not know that. And quite clearly he wasn't fine because he told his mother he was traumatized from the situation. Now he might be exaggerating. His mother might be exaggerating, but he clearly wasn't fine. So to say he'll be fine is not clearly the play, right? You guys are being so unsympathetic. All right, moving on anyways. We've kind of discussed that to death.